crypto fear and greed currently sitting at fear, and just yesterday it was actually at extreme fear. Now I have a question for you. How often do we see a bull market reverse into a bear market when sentiment is this low? Now let's not guess. Let's actually go ahead and pull up the data. This is crypto fear and greed over time. This spans all the way back to 2018, showing you just how much crypto fear and greed index actually fluctuated through the cycles. Now I've gone ahead and marked out the major bull market highs that we've seen since 2018. The first one right here was when Bitcoin got all the way up to 14K, where it went from 3K up to 14K so rapidly and then topped off at 14K, then getting into the COVID slump. But at 14K, guys, crypto fear and greed was actually sitting at greed. The index actually peaked above 90%, screaming extreme greed at 14K. Now, when Bitcoin got up to 60K for the first time in 2021, fear and greed was sitting at 80, signifying greed in the market. Now, the next peak, believe it or not, guys, came in when Bitcoin got all the way up to $69,000. Fear and greed peaked above 80, once again signifying greed in the market. But it's in these sort of junctures that you actually saw markets reverse. Very, very, very seldom do you see markets reverse on extreme fear, which, by the way, we're currently at right now. However, is the TA following suit? Is the TA telling us, hey, now's the time to get bearish, jump the gun, go ahead, sell your bags? Now, I have kept my trade criteria very, very simple. Yes, XRP is frustrating, much like my neighbors who just won't stop construction. However, for as long as XRP lives over $2.01 on the daily time frame, on the weekly time frame, I think that, okay, the bulls can still step in right here. That's criteria number one. Criteria number two, crypto still has to be within its bull run parameters. All right, the bull run still needs to be on for me to still be bullish on XRP. As soon as I know that, hey, the crypto bull run has gotten invalidated, I know that, okay, I gotta be a bit more cautious even with my XRP bags, irrespective if it's holding 201. As far as crypto's bull run is concerned, that is hinged primarily on Bitcoin. Now for Bitcoin, we're looking at the monthly 10 simple moving average, which price is still currently holding. We're living over that level, as well as the bi-weekly dynamic support, which price is still living over. Now, until we break these levels, I cannot get bearish on the cycle, because historically, if I had jumped the gun on the prior two visits of both the 10 SMA as well as the bi-weekly dynamic, and I got bearish at these junctures right here, was I rewarded for it or did I get punished? Well, I got punished severely. If I got bearish on the cycle right here, I missed out on a 200% rally. And for the second time, if I had gotten bearish right here, I would have missed out on a 90% rally. Now, it appears that price is back here on that same level, bi-weekly dynamic as well as monthly 10 SMA. The cycle is still intact. As far as XRP relative to 201 is concerned, well, XRP is still living over 201, so I cannot possibly jump the gun on being bearish on my trade and letting go of my position. Now, there is a little bullish news drop that came out today on XRP. However, before I give you guys the juice on that, I want to give you something different today. Now, some of you might freaking hate me for it, but hey, we got to think of every single angle of this trade that we're currently in, okay? Today, I want to give you guys the next downside target. Let's say Bitcoin holds its bull run signature, crypto is still within its bull run, but XRP closes underneath $2.01. What do we do then? What happens then? How far low does XRP go? Now, I know that many of you guys are looking at the massive head and shoulders pattern, but I don't think we get to the measured move of that pattern, which, believe it or not, takes XRP down to 66 cents. Now, I don't think we're getting there as first stop. I wouldn't be that bearish. However, on the break of 201, I believe XRP can make its way all the way here at around $1.48. I have been looking at the momentum on XRP's chart, especially on the momentum throughout this entire range right here. My price target system is telling me that the next major downside target on XRP comes in at around $1.48. To lend to the confluence on that target, we also have the monthly dynamic swinging in right there. Okay, so I'll be looking at that as first stop. No, I'm not gonna be looking for 66 cents. For me to look for 66 cents, guys, I'll be honest with you, crypto has to be propelled back into bear market territory. Only then will I really look for 66 cents. But if crypto still stays within bull run parameters and XRP loses 201, then $1.48 is your next downside target. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but hey, for those of you looking to take the next short on XRP, no, you don't short right here. You wait for 201 to break, but this could be a good short range, just a good 26% on that range from 201 down to $1.48. Now, if you guys are looking to trade XRP, still on the hunt for a good exchange, then check out the link in the description below to BitUnix. If you use the link, you can get up to 5.5K in deposit bonuses. So definitely take advantage of that. Okay, but for those of you who don't even want to consider the possibility of prices coming down, there is a bullish news drop that came in today. And this is it. Coinbase Institutional posted on X today. We're excited to announce that Coinbase Derivatives has filed with the CFTC to self-certify XRP futures cash settled, bringing a regulated, capital efficient way to gain exposure to one of the most liquid digital assets. We anticipate the contract going live on April 21st, 2025. Now, I know some of you are like, Krisha, there are so many platforms that offer XRP futures. Why is this such a big deal? XRP futures on Coinbase would be only one of 2 futures that have been approved under the US commodities law. This is going to be huge for US-based institutional adoption, okay, especially for the much larger institutions out there. This is like a verified tick mark signaling to them that, hey, you can now dabble in XRP futures and you can now gain exposure to XRP as well. Now, institutions would no longer be in the dark of the regulatory risks that XRP actually poses. That is out the window. This is now going to bring in more liquidity from institutions, which could have some massive implications to price discovery. And given that XRP is still holding $2.01, there is a probability that, hey, we could see that volatility also kick in to the upside. So I personally am going to be watching for that. And of course, just watching for how price reacts off of 201. If we break 201, then $1.48 is going to be that next level. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the likes. If you want to keep up with the levels and the story on XRP, hit the sub. I will now see you in the Discord chat. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.